Welcome back to the StarX podcast, where we're solving for sci-fi. We're a sci-fi rewatch podcast. We're currently X equals
Gate.
That's right. We are working our way through the beloved, but some would say underrated series of Stargate SG-1. And today's episode is season 1, episode 7, which is called
The Nox.
That's right. And let's get into it. So this one is The Nox. It aired on August 12th, 1997, directed by Charles Carell and written by Hart Hanson. And guest cast, we got Armin Shimmerman. I think it's Antaeus. And Ray Zifo, he's Ofer. And then Frida Betrani is Laia, Addison Ridge, Nefreyu, and Terry David Mulligan is the Secretary of Defense. And then Makasha Armstrong is Skal. He's the Jaffa.
Isn't Nefreyu the name of the kid on Neverending Story?
I think his name is Atreyu.
Oh, Atreyu, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's pretty much everybody. Oh, and then, of course, Peter Williams, he's Apophis. He shows up in this episode.
Yes.
No, he's not always in it, but he is in this one. So, yeah. So my initial thoughts on this one?
Well, when I saw that we were going to watch it, it's a memorable one that I always remember, I guess. I don't even know how to explain that, but it wasn't as I don't know the word. Like, it was good, but a little weaker than I remember it.
Yeah.
But I do like it's a good intro, I guess, to the Nox. They do show up a couple more times.
Yeah, the Nox, at least I think it's Laia. She's at least in it a couple. Maybe the rest of them are too, but
yeah, she at least comes one more time.
We see her at least once. I know. I kind of had the same thought. Like, I remember, my memory of this episode is, I think I liked the memory of watching it. I thought I was going to like it more than we watched it again last night. And I was like, this one is a little weak. Like, there's not a lot happening as much as, there's stuff happens obviously, but it
was still good.
Yeah, it was a good, it was just not, there are better episodes.
Yeah, but it was a good one. I remember. It's one I remember. Like, it's memorable to me.
Like, this one to me, it wasn't really a slog. It was just kind of like a meh episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are some interesting aspects of it for sure, and we'll get into it when we start talking about the summary. But yeah, why don't we should we get into the summary?
Yeah, sure.
Start going through. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so in Stargate SG-1, Season 1, Episode 7, The Nox, SG-1 heads off world chasing what sounds like the ultimate prize, a creature with the power of invisibility, something that could finally give Earth an edge against the Goa'uld. Because if there's one thing the Pentagon loves, it's tactical advantage with a side of alien mystery.
Yeah, so the beginning of it, they're in the gate room and they're heading out, and there's already that Secretary of Defense guy. He shows up and he's already complaining that they're not doing enough.
They're not getting enough technology.
To find the technology.
He's already an asshole, like, in the first 30 seconds.
Yeah. Like, there's that. And it's funny. This is like an ongoing theme of that. There's like that push and pull of government bureaucracy against, like, how much they're gonna.
Right. And it's just so funny how it starts. They open up the gate and he's like completely amazed. It's like a wormhole that goes to other galaxies, and and then he's like so amazed, but then all of a sudden he's like, "But you're not doing enough. We're gonna have to shut this down." Like, really?
Like, how much money are we spending on this program? Kind of thing.
Like, you're going to other planets. Like, give it a minute.
Yeah. And that was sort of what everyone's take was on it. Like, that was like the explanation. Even like Sam and everybody, well, with respect, sir, and you're just like trying to explain, well, there was obviously benefit to doing this.
Yeah. And I like how Jack's pretty much ready to kind of just give him a snarky comment. And General Hammond's like, O'Neill?
Yeah, kind of has to reel him back in a little bit. Yeah, totally. And then of course the idea that Tilk's aware of the
creature that can go invisible.
And so that's
invisibility.
Yeah, so Tilk kind of offers that up as like, well, this is possible technology or something, and so this guy's immediately like, oh, that sounds great, let's go after that,
But I'm like, I don't know. For me, I'm immediately like, it's a living thing. They're calling it a creature. So their whole idea is just to go basically get it and study it, which can't be good for that creature.
Oh yeah, no, it's like the idea of just capturing it and bringing it. Yeah, I know. I agree with you. That's
I'm not into that as much.
Right. I mean, ultimately, what it comes down to, it's no different than them like taking Tilk off and studying him.
Yeah.
As a
exactly
like a living entity or whatever. Yeah, I agree. So I don't know. Apparently they don't. It's an animal, so they're sort of.
I know. I mean, and now they have the pressure to have to get some sort of alien technology that could help them. So of course this. Secretary of Defense?
Yeah.
Hears about this, and he's like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, his name is Secretary of Defense David Swift. That's his character name. Yeah. Well, and it's funny. Most of the government people are always kind of like this. There's a few.
Yeah, there's a couple I like who are really good at their character to where you just can't stand them.
yeah, and there are a couple good ones too, like that are a-holes all the time.
Right.
Like Pauly Shore.
But I mean, you got to have like a little bit of that, the villain, a little bit.
Yeah, they kind of use the government.
Yeah.
As that a lot of times, but yeah, there's a few different, like I said.
Oh yeah, Pauly Shore. Yeah, there's the one guy that looks like. He looks like Pauly Shore, at least to us, he does.
Yeah, he'll be in a lot down the road.
Yeah.
I don't know when he comes.
He might even come and become a regular.
I think he's
cast member.
If not a regular, he's a pretty.
Yeah.
I think his name is Major Davis.
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or you're thinking of Don Davis?
No, I think that's his character name, Major Davis. We always just called him Pauly Shore.
Yes, he does. He looks like Pauly Shore.
But he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at least he's not always I don't know. Maybe my memory of that, maybe he won't always be that, but he seems like he's usually a pretty good guy.
Yeah, anyway. I think he kind of comes in. You think he's going to be an asshole, but you end up liking him, Yeah. That kind of a character.
Right. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see when he does show up eventually. Yeah. But okay.
All right. Moving on.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure.
But the mission immediately goes off the rails. The Stargate disappears, stranding the team, and they quickly realize that they're not the only ones hunting. The ever-charming Apophis is on the same trail. What follows is a bold and maybe not so well thought out plan to capture him using tranquilizers, because nothing says topple a false god like darts meant for a rhino. Did you write that?
No. No.
Okay. I was going to say, you're really laughing hard at your joke there.
No, I did not. I did not write that.
Is that your first time reading it?
It is. I actually didn't read through this.
That is funny.
But yeah, I can explain.
So they get through the gate, and again, it looks like another forestry Canadian backdrop.
Yeah, like Vancouver
or something.
Forest, right?
And and they're trying to figure out where to go. And then O'Neill turns around and he sees that the Stargate is completely gone.
Yeah. And wasn't it kind of funny how he comes? I mean, this is actually in the goof. This is a goof, just kind of foreshadowing. But since it's the beginning of the episode, it is kind of weird that he comes walking through the gate all by himself, and they're already all there. And he's like, "Hey, where is everybody?"
Oh yeah,
like right at the beginning. They do point that out in the goofs. That's why I read that. So I noticed it and was kind of like, yeah, that is kind of weird.
Yeah.
that
Because
he.
and they'd already been exploring for a while.
Yeah, like he was. I don't know.
Carter's like, hey, we're right here.
He-
Coming up, like they've been like around exploring.
Yeah, he like needed to finish his lunch first or something.
Yeah,
before he came
because
through.
if that was the case, you think they'd already had hidden the gate, or the gate would already had disappeared.
Right. Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, because they might know that they all hadn't come through yet because the gate was probably still active.
Still active.
Yeah,
didn't turn off yet.
Who knows? It's just kind of weird that he just sort of is like coming through by himself.
Yeah.
And then like, whoa, where is everybody? And they're anyway.
So they are going to look for the creature, and they have like just darts that they're gonna tranquilizer darts.
Well,
pretty much.
just
I mean,
to
they have
tranquilize-
some weapons, but that's pretty much all they have.
Yeah, but then they're like, oh well, they see that Apophis is there because they hear him. Him and his dudes.
Yeah, I know.
Shooting,
So they're walking around, and
so they're like, well, let's capture Apophis.
Yeah,
and
the
that's
plan changes.
Yeah, because I think they're thinking, oh, we have these tranquilizer darts for the.
Well, Carter's like, well, how are we supposed to do that? We mostly have tranquilizer darts. Like, how are we supposed to capture him? She's like, if we're going to do this, we've got to have like a really good plan.
Yeah.
And then we get to their plan.
The plan was not that good.
Plan was not good.
plan was not good.
Obviously.
Because they all get killed.
They all die.
Like within seconds.
Yeah. Well, it was like they're all in this one little group.
Well, except Tilk.
They're hiding behind rocks. And they just come out shooting.
Yeah. Well, and then all of a sudden,
and they miss. All their shots just miss everything.
Well, and then all of a sudden, Apophis has this personal shield technology that just.
Yeah.
And Teal'c is like, oh, where did he get that? I've never seen this before. He says that.
Yeah.
And like, this is, new to me.
Yeah.
Apparently, the Goa'uld R&D department
And then Apophis gets one of the weapons. The staff weapons, and shoots everybody.
Oh, is Apophis the one that shoots everybody?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's the one that kills everybody.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well.
Again, we just watched this.
Well, I couldn't remember if it was him or one of his Jaffa.
No, it was him.
People.
Yeah. I can't remember though how he got the staff weapon. Maybe he just picked it up. It was dropped by one of his soldiers or Tilk or something, but he's the one.
I don't even think Tilk was there or was he? I don't remember. Well, at any rate, Tilk is there because he's like, Shova. Because remember he's saying, yeah.
Yeah, because then everybody disappears before he can kill Tilk. Apophis.
Oh, right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
It's amazing. It's amazing that I could even get through life on a day-to-day with how amazing my memory is.
So he shoots first O'Neill, and then Carter goes to help O'Neill, and then he shoots Carter, and then Daniel gets up, and then he shoots Daniel, and then everybody disappears, and then Apophis is like stunned, like what happened? Right.
And you did say, Sam mentions was that your note? Sam mentions they must really plan the attack. Because it doesn't seem very thought out.
Yeah.
That was your note. Okay. Yeah.
They're
I
just
get that.
hiding behind some rocks and jump out and start shooting.
And
miss.
We got the drop on you. Woo.
Oh, man. Okay. Should we move on?
Yeah.
Okay. And then they wake up. Alive, healed, and very confused, the team finds themselves in the care of the Nox, a quiet, seemingly primitive race who not only save them, but can literally bring people back from the dead. Casual. As Daniel Jackson tries to unlock their secrets and Jack O'Neill tries to get their guns back, it becomes clear the Nox are far more advanced than they appear. They have zero interest in playing the galaxy's arms race. Yeah.
Yeah. So that kind of goes on for the entire episode where they're obvious. It's obvious that these guys are I mean, to the viewer, it's obvious that they're like eons more advanced than, you know, these Earthlings, you know, or even the Goa'uld or whatever. You know, they have this crazy technology where they don't even have to.
They don't have to fight.
They don't have. They don't. Yeah, they don't.
Like it's fine to.
And everybody acts like. Well, O'Neill acts like they're these helpless.
Well, I don't think it's immediate that they're. Maybe it was.
Well,
I don't know.
mean, they can make people disappear and they can heal. They can heal everybody. I mean, it's like, they obviously are.
But it takes a minute before you realize it's them doing that.
Well,
but I guess when they heal them, I guess they did heal them from the dead. So.
Well, I thought it was funny how when they're waking up, Daniel wakes up first and then he's over checking Carter and he's like sticking his hand in her like wound like area. And then it wakes her up and she's like, what are you looking at? You know? I thought that was pretty funny. And he's just like, well, what is going on?
Like, how
here?
did they, how is she healed?
Yeah. He's,
how are we healed?
He's not like copping a feel. He's just trying to figure out, well, how are we not all dead?
Yeah.
You know?
And you think her first thing would just be like, oh, is everyone okay? You know, instead she's like, what are you doing? But yeah, I guess they do. I guess it does show immediately that they have some technology because they can bring them back from the dead.
Yeah. Or
because Tilk, doesn't he come in and he's surprised that they're up and alive?
Yeah.
He kind of comes in their little camp area.
Yeah.
And he looks a little shocked.
Yeah. I think why didn't they call this episode Cold Lazarus? Because they're literally bringing people back from the dead.
Yeah. Is that what that means or something?
Well, Lazarus is we talked about it in the last episode, Cold Lazarus, where that one was because he brought the kid back from the dead, or technically, but in this episode, they actually bring people back from the dead, which is what happens to Lazarus, like in the Bible. Mm-hmm. He's brought back from the dead. So I don't know. Maybe this is how they got the idea for this episode.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Anyway, instead they call it the Nox.
The Nox.
So
because they're cool.
Yeah, the Nox.
Okay,
let's go hang out with the Nox.
Let's see. So.
Oh, okay.
I was just looking at some of the notes you have here.
Oh, well, so the first time you get a view of the Nox people, they all have like the crazy hair and just their, real basic,
and it looks like they've got like stuff growing out of them or something.
Yeah, almost like
they're part of the Earth. They're part of the
planet.
The planet, yeah.
Kind of like they're, like they don't look fully human, really. That's like the idea. Obviously, you're supposed to know they're an alien.
Well, and that's why I think like O'Neill thinks they look like because they're like camping out. Like they just think they're just like they live in this little campground area. So I think he thinks they're like way more vulnerable than they,
Yeah, and they look like they're living this like real simple life, like they're.
And so he, in his mind, he's like, well, Apophis is just going to kill these people immediately.
Well, obviously.
And the only thing he can think of is like, I've got to just have weapons and stuff to fight back to keep them from killing these people. But they're he's
coming from a place of like, he's trying to protect. And I think it's really funny how he keeps saying they're the bad guys. Like the Goa'uld are the bad guys. But you can, the way they're framing it, it almost seems like to the Nox, like there are no bad guys. There's just everybody's like on their own like level.
Everybody's kind of like the same.
It's like this like almost, what do you call that? Where like enlightened kind of thinking that's above normal, human.
Yeah, because they're all sitting around there. Around like eating or around the little campfire, and she's like, they're talking about leaving or something, or going back and getting weapons or something, and they're like, well, you got to wait for your friend to wake up.
Yeah, because he's a Jaffa.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
So that they've also brought back or helped save one of the Jaffa that was with Apophis.
Right. And so that. So this is actually interesting in a way where I this was my other note. Aside from, I thought they kind of looked like Teletubbies, but with the way they were dressed and everything, it was just sort of the vibe I got.
Right.
This is the first time, aside from the Goa'uld, that you're actually dealing with another alien race.
Yeah.
Right? Because everybody else has been like Earthlings or people from Earth taken to other planets by the Goa'uld. I don't think there's been another
like actual
alien species. I mean,
like
more do come in, but this is like the first.
Yeah. Yeah,
alien.
I think you're right.
Because I mean, right? Like this.
Because what about Broca Divide? Are they also?
Those are all people from Earth. Yeah,
yeah.
They're just human.
Yeah, I think this is the first that have actual like alien technology.
Yeah. This is actual like these are like real aliens that aren't Goa'uld. So that's kind of interesting. That's like a first time for this episode.
Yeah, a big thing.
Yeah, it's kind of a big thing. But yeah, I thought that was I thought that was kind of an interesting, first time thing because it doesn't happen. I mean, they don't come across a ton of different aliens in this series. I mean, you have like the Goa'uld and you have the Asgard. Down the road, you have those other guys.
Yeah.
I can't remember what they're called. Ori.
Oh, yeah. Ori.
But I think
that's way down the road.
Yeah. I don't know if those guys are even, those guys might be human enlightened. I don't know. Anyway, we'll get to that. But yeah, first time aliens. So.
So exciting stuff.
Yeah. Totally. So like I thought it was interesting too how they just were trying to explain what the Goa'uld are to these Nox, and they just seem completely indifferent to any explanation they're trying to give. They just don't care.
No,
they're just like whatever. They're just like they're not going to let anybody die, regardless of.
Yeah, we're not going to help fight anything. We're not going to kill anything.
We're not going to allow you to kill anybody, and we're not going to help. We're not taking any sides.
Yeah.
One way or another, they're like above it, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Should I move on?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Meanwhile, Apophis is still lurking and things get worse when a surviving Jaffa learns the truth. The invisibility doesn't come from the creature. It comes from the Nox themselves. And if the Goa'uld will figure that out, game over. So they're, because doesn't Nephrayu is that when he goes missing?
Well,
oh no,
not yet. But he's like he's a kid. He's the kid, and I
know. But who are they saving? That Apophis sees that it's them, or was it? Oh no, it was the Jaffa.
That guy wakes up and then he happens to notice that.
He escapes.
Yeah, so the kid wants to see a Goa'uld because he's never seen one. So he's like curious, and he follows O'Neill. And
after he makes they're making bow and arrows.
He MacGyver's a bow and arrow.
He MacGyver's a bow and arrow. And the kid's asking questions like, is that a weapon? Why do you use weapons? Blah, blah, blah. But he goes with O'Neill.
And he's asking these interesting questions to O'Neill. And he's like, because it's kind of like this whole like good, bad thing. And the kid actually says, well, why wouldn't you just try to understand them better?
Yeah.
like
just go up to them
or even just because it's kind of like maybe you'd want to fight them less if you knew more about them or you knew them better. Like
the kid's like super wise.
Yeah. Super wise, but also naive at the same time.
Yeah.
Because
well, then after all that, he follows O'Neill with his bow and arrow and they're out in the woods.
And they shoo him away. So they tell him to go back.
Well, no, this is just O'Neill and the kid. First.
Oh.
Because they're out in the woods and the kid's talking to him and then one of those invisible creatures flies over. You remember? And immediately after all that, he like puts his bow and arrow up. He's like, he tells the kid to get away and he goes to shoot the creature. This creature that they're like
he thinks he's trying to protect the kid.
Yeah, he thinks he's trying to protect the kid.
He thinks everything is dangerous.
And the Nox are like, no, we're the ones protecting the creatures. They don't have the invisibility.
So we do find out that a lot about the Nox after they go back to the camp. We find out like that one guy's like 432 years old. And so it's obvious they're not humans. And like, I don't know, it's sort of like building.
Yeah. Daniel's he's with the one guy and he's trying to find out like what kind of medicines they use.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and the guy's just not really being that forthcoming.
Well,
Because it's probably we probably wouldn't, because Daniel wouldn't understand probably.
Well, yeah, and the thing that kind of bugs me about what they're doing. I mean, I understand their goal is to go out and find like technology to fight the Goa'uld or whatever, or find new things for like the humanity.
Yeah.
But it always seems like and this is ongoing throughout the entire series when they're doing this, but it always kind of feels like there's sort of everything. It always just feels like a way to exploit something for us, and not really ever like looking to, I mean, they always say, well, we can give you this. And occasionally we're helpful. Our technology is helpful to other races, but usually it's always the other way around. Everything's better than what we have. We don't really have anything to offer necessarily.
Except weapons. They always are like, we can
weapons.
Provide you weapons. Yeah.
So I don't know. But that's kind of like this situation where it's like that guy's like, well,
he does kind of say doesn't the Nox guy say, we don't really share our technology.
Well, I don't know if he says it, but O'Neill does say early on that like, he's like, usually advanced cultures don't really want to share their technology. That's like, understandably, like, are we going to give nukes to like another?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
and I think Daniel's too, just trying to find out more about them.
Yeah.
His more like curiosity and like, how are you like 432 years old?
Yeah. He's definitely more.
How are you saving people from after being dead?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, should we go on?
Yeah.
I think,
so okay.
I think SG-1 is stuck in it. Mm-hmm. Is that it? Okay.
SG-1 is stuck in an impossible situation. The Nox refuse to fight. The Goa'uld don't know how not to fight. And our team, very much pro-fighting, has to decide whether to respect a philosophy that could get everyone killed. Naturally, they choose a little bit of both. So it's about that. Everybody kind of returns back to the camp after the whole bow and arrow incident with O'Neill, Daniel talking to the Nox guy. They get back to the camp, and that's when they realize the kid's gone, and the kid has just wandered up to Apophis, the Goa'uld.
Right. Who basically does something to him with his hand.
Yeah, his little hand thingy.
Yeah. And I don't know if he kills him or but obviously they can bring the kid back. Yes.
I'm thinking must have.
So the kid was probably dead. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's usually what happens when those Goa'ulds pull up that hand thing.
Yeah. Especially Apophis.
Yeah.
And so then that is how, because then that when the other Jaffa escapes and sees that they're trying to heal the kid. And that they had, because they're going in and out of invisibility. That's when they're most vulnerable.
Right. And so that's like the worry. Like as soon as they understand this, they're going to now
it's
exploit
not the
it
creature.
to wipe you all out.
Yeah, it's them. So this has O'Neill panicking.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So what follows is a tense standoff, a clever workaround involving low-velocity weapons versus energy shields, and one last attempt to outmaneuver Apophis. But in the end, it's the Nox who truly flex, revealing that their peaceful ways aren't born from weakness, but from being so advanced they simply don't need to prove anything. Turns out when you can hide entire cities in the sky, you don't really need a P-90.
Yeah, so Jack has the drop on Apophis, and he's gonna like shoot him with a tranq, and they make him disappear.
Yeah,
and so it kind of like, and you see that
he wasn't gonna kill him.
No, he was gonna take him back, but I mean, it was kind of like they weren't gonna allow anything,
any
act of aggression.
They're not gonna be like exactly
outside of what they were gonna allow.
Yeah.
So. And then you find out they do have that hidden city, like the city's invisible. And it's like,
I know. That's kind of when you kind of know that they're advanced, obviously.
Right.
But then when they show the city up in the sky, you're like, okay.
Yeah. And, and it's obvious that they don't need a lot for their survival. They just kind of need the basics because they pretty much have everything they need and they're good.
Yeah.
They don't need more than what they have. And obviously they're hiding this huge city.
So they're powerful somehow. They've got,
extremely powerful.
Yeah.
They have
I mean, I know this comes up in another episode, but we find out that they can just turn on the gate.
Yeah,
themselves.
Yeah.
She just waves her hand and it turns on.
Well, and this gets into later episodes, but they start talking about ascension and all that, and I think what they kind of find out is the Nox are actually just really close to, if not ascended
beings,
where they just kind of have kind of controls of the levers of the universe at their disposal,
right?
Because they're just so advanced,
right? They're just right there on the cusp.
Yeah, if they're not there already. I can't remember if they're technically ascended.
Yeah, I can't either.
But so that you find out. But yeah, so that city that they show, it totally reminds me. There was an old Nintendo game, and we didn't have it, but Dan did. I would go over and watch him play it and stuff. And there was a game called, I think it was called Rygar. It had a floating city up in the sky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I think you could get up to it. I don't remember ever seeing him do it, but I think he told me that you could get up and, go around and whatever. But this was OG Nintendo, NES back in the 80s. So, but it totally made me think of that cool. When you see this floating, because that's what's in the game. It's just a floating
city.
A
floating thing. It's kind of like on Zelda, the most recent Zelda too. There's that area he goes to that has all the floating.
Oh yeah. Yeah. True.
Cities.
Yeah. That would be, yeah, that'd probably be even more timely than some old game from the 80s. As a reference,
Well, no, I just don't. I've never heard that game, but it just when you said that, it made me think of Zelda.
Yeah, totally.
So when they show the sky, they're pretty amazed, and that's pretty much how it ends. I mean, do they even go back and brief anything about this, or
they not in the episode?
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of just ends. I think you have. Oh, there's one last little thing you can read, the ending after.
Oh, here we go. The last part of the summary. The Nox flips the usual Stargate formula on its head, delivering an episode where the biggest lesson isn't how to win a fight, it's when not to have one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The more you know, right?
They don't learn that.
We learned something today.
They still are especially O'Neill. He's we need to have our weapons at all times.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I mean,
I get it to an extent, but yeah.
Well, they're not. I mean, they're not. They don't have this level of
power and technology,
and
So the Nox don't have to.
Right.
Because they've got so much.
Totally.
Power, I guess. I don't know. Power, technology. What would you call it?
But I would say both.
Yeah.
Yeah. They definitely have.
So it's good. I think we only say it's weaker, maybe just because we've watched it so many times and we're dissecting these episodes now quite a lot.
Yeah.
Because we're doing this podcast about them. But I do remember when the first few times watching it, I like the episode. I like when they reveal that they're this way more advanced
civilization or
whatever. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think you're right. I think that's definitely a factor, but I do remember thinking when we watched it, I'm like, so it seems like more should be happening.
Yeah.
But it's mostly just kind of a cat and mouse game with not letting Apophis find out about their technology, and then also
and just learning more about what the Nox are.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But what are the chances that they're going to run into Apophis on this day, on this planet at the exact same time?
Trying to capture this creature.
Apophis is hey, let's go try to capture one of these things,
And
unless he's doing it all the time.
Because Apophis is supposed to be some god. I think it's funny that he's down there too in his gold outfit trying to capture this creature. Don't you think he'd just send his minions down?
Well,
to go just get this creature.
Yeah. And I do think too, it's kind of interesting how he he's like really, there's a couple times where it shows how he's actually pretty afraid. Like, you know, he's really not, like, without his technology, he would be SOL.
Toast. Yeah.
Totally. And he does have some expressions where you can tell he's actually pretty afraid of, like, you know, of like SG-1
Yeah.
and what could happen. So
Because he knows he's not a god.
no, obviously,
You know?
obviously.
Yeah.
And he's not used to having people think that he's not a god. He's used to being a god.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why I think he would just be staying up in his ship while his little minions go down and capture this creature.
Yeah.
Not him down there, you know, with all of his gold.
Because what's he really doing? He wasn't shooting
He
anything.
was just pointing. Go here. Go there.
He wasn't really even doing anything.
That's what it was so funny.
Okay.
Okay. Should we get into some trivia goofs?
Yeah. Let's do it.
You want to do the first one?
Yeah. So this episode marks the first time that Tilk is referred to as a Shova, meaning traitor, though it was not translated until Bloodlines in 1997, so that's a different episode. Tilk also used the phrase "I die free," which later shown to be the unofficial motto of the rebel Jaffa. So,
And I think it's the first time too that he kind of mentions that he wants to go back and free the Jaffa when he's talking to the Jaffa that's
he's talking to the other
Nox
guy.
saved.
Yeah. I think
where
it
it's
is the
kind of
first
like,
time.
okay, this is going to maybe be something like some sort of
like
movement.
I'm gonna start a movement.
Yeah.
Totally.
So that's something.
Yeah.
Let's see. Next trivia. First time the Goa'uld use a personal body shield, which allows slow-moving objects to penetrate, but is otherwise impervious to projectile weapons. This is similar to the personal shields used in the Dune books.
Yeah.
I know nothing about Dune.
Yeah, I don't either.
But yeah, that's the first time we saw the shield.
Yeah, and it's the first
And
time.
of course, only Apophis has it.
Tilk said it's the first. I mean, he was
He was
new to
surprised
him.
by it.
Yeah, it was new to him too. So
Yeah, because you never see the Jaffa using it. So it must just be a god gift.
yeah, totally.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so the Nox city is also used in the Outer Limits episode Sarcophagus in 1998. So yeah, so
We'll have to remember to
Yeah,
notice that.
I know. Yeah, we should check it out.
This is the first episode in which the term first prime is used. First prime of Apophis, right?
Yeah, so if the first prime is like the guy who is sort of second in command, like Tilk was
like number one.
Yeah, he's like number one,
Yeah.
right? Except first prime. Yeah,
'Cause that's
and
what Tilk was.
Tilk was the first prime. So this guy was the guy that was also now the new first prime. And they're the ones that have like the gold thing on their head. That's like that, I think, is what symbolizes first prime. Otherwise,
okay.
they just have black.
Just black.
like a black
Oh,
tattoo.
right. Yeah.
Like if you're just a lowly Jaffa, you're not gonna have you don't get the gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Okay, go ahead.
Maybe though, maybe all the top guys get the gold. I don't know. I don't know if the other guys had it or not, but I know the grunts don't get it.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Cool.
So the DVD episode order differs somewhat from the broadcast order. This is the 7th episode broadcast, but the 12th episode on volume 3 of season 1 of the season 1 box set. So yeah, so we've talked about before that the DVDs are all out of order.
Yeah, it's weird.
So when we watched them, we would have watched them all out of order because we wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
You know.
That's weird.
Yeah. I just think that they screwed up.
Yeah,
with the
probably.
way they put them on. It was probably just a mistake.
And it is, just so you all know, it is on Netflix. The whole series SG-1.
Yeah, they're streaming on Netflix now too.
I don't know for how long, but I did notice that it's there.
Yeah,
it's a new ad.
It comes and goes from Netflix. It's been on there before.
Has it?
Yeah. And I feel like it's always on Amazon, or for the most part, it's like on Amazon Prime.
But yeah, it was recently added to Netflix.
It was.
Okay, it is last trivia. It is revealed that at this point, the SGC has been to 19 different worlds.
Yeah, Carter says that at the beginning.
Yeah,
talking to and so like I thought it would have been more than that based on the way they talked.
I know the
in the Emancipation episode where They're
It seemed like all this time had gone through.
yucking it up around the campfire about all their missions.
Yeah. Now they've slowed down a little.
Yeah. Okay. So goofs.
Yeah, go for it.
So while SG-1 is formulating the plan to capture Apophis, the amount and pattern of rain on Tilk's head changes between shots. So
You could tell it was raining
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
I bet that's so annoying to film in. I mean, you could just hear it, like, and you could see his head, Tilk's head. It was just like dripping.
Well, and I've heard other people talk about like filming in Canada, like all the shows that get filmed in Canada where it's just constant. Like they've talked about it like on Supernatural, like Smallville, all those shows. That
Lots of rain.
Lots of rain.
Yeah.
And you're just dealing with it.
Yeah. A lot of the times you don't notice it, which is so funny, unless you kind of like you could see on O'Neill's jacket and hat was sopping wet.
Yeah. They've always say it's like always really light rain, but the one thing they always say is it's just really cold when like during that time, most of the time.
Yeah, I bet it would be miserable. At some point you could tell Sam like they were just done trying to make her hair look dry. Like it was just like wet.
They probably have a umbrella.
They're like, you know what?
Most
just
of the time.
the last scene your hair is going to be wet. That's it.
We'll just
this is taking too much time.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it was a lot of rain. You can tell.
Yeah.
Okay, next goof. After Nefreyu was killed, he was killed by Apophis, and his father is carrying his body, which should be dead. Nefreyu's head is upright. If he were dead, his whole head would be limp, and it's not being held up. In fact, it's even jostled, and he keeps it up. But if he isn't dead, then they would not need to use their powers to bring him to life. Okay.
I think they overly are explaining.
Yeah.
In that. Like we get it. We get it.
Okay.
He'd be limp.
Yeah.
Limp body. Yeah, we get it.
All right. They're like trying to find a goof.
Okay, so when SG-1 gates to the Nox homeworld, only Jack comes through. This is what I talked about at the beginning.
Oh, right.
Jack through the gate, and he finds no one in sight. The team usually goes through at the same time, so it would make no sense for Jack to go through the gate far behind the rest of his team, that they would have moved out of sight. So that is kind of weird.
Yeah. He's like, I'm going to finish my coffee.
Yeah.
Just go without me for a minute.
He had a sandwich to finish or something.
We'll leave it open.
Yeah. Just
no
let
big deal.
Let the just thousands of
don't
kilowatt hours of electricity they're using to keep that gate powered. Just keep it running. It's all good.
Okay, last goof. At about 41 minutes, when the Nox City first appears, a suspending cable can be seen running horizontally across the screen. Oh, I didn't notice that.
I didn't either.
I mean, it doesn't look like it's great CG or anything.
No.
So, like, if there's a wire, what are they carrying? What are they holding up?
Well, obviously it's something. They must have. There was something actually there.
Something actually hanging.
You say they used it in another episode of
Yeah.
The Outer Limits.
Oh, that's
so
funny.
it's a prop of some kind. I was kind of wondering, like, because now it would just be a CG.
Kind of like maybe like a miniature, like kind of how they did all the Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, maybe that's a miniature of some kind.
Because it was kind of a little wobbly.
I didn't even notice that.
I noticed that, but it was just because I was just thinking, well, that's bad, CG or something.
Well, and to be honest, I was typing notes.
Or
at the
would it
same
be
time.
CG or what would it have been at the time?
At the time,
Like I said, that it was bad. That I was
special
thinking
effects.
Special effects. Yeah.
Yeah, not so special.
Yeah.
Not so special effects, I guess. Yeah.
Well, that's it for trivia and goofs.
Yeah. So, indeed count.
Let me guess. 0.
Still 0.
Still 0.
But for crying out loud count, also 0.
Yeah. I actually was waiting for him to say it, and he just never did. He had plenty of chances, but maybe they were like, you've said it a lot. Maybe not this episode.
Well, now, and I'm. It'll be interesting if it tapers off, where you don't hear it that much at all.
Yeah, I wonder.
Because that's like 2 episodes in a row now where.
Well, I think it'll be very exciting when we first hear
get the first indeed.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
So I'm watching for it.
Yeah. So no indeed, no for crying out loud. So it was Chevron rating.
Chevron rating, and that's like we're doing 1 to 9, right? I would say 6.
I was gonna say 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was kind of in the mid range. 5,
Yeah.
6. I'll say 5
Okay.
on it.
Yeah. I'm a little above the mid, but
Yeah.
like it's entertaining enough.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, 5 is still like a little above, it's not, I guess it's mid because it's 9. It's a little above 4. Yeah. It wasn't horrible.
No.
But I thought it was kind of mediocre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
had some cool things in it though. And,
and introducing a couple things.
Yeah. Introducing some new things to the universe. But yeah. So I give it I say 5. So 6. I'll have to we'll have to figure out a way to tally it so we can keep kind of a record.
Yeah.
I'll go back and see what we got
tally
the
some
other
stuff.
ones. Yeah.
Keep some tallies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
that's it for that episode. We do have, so the quote of the episode is more, it's not as funny like we've been like pulling from the last episodes. This one's a little bit more of a wise quote.
Yeah, I mean, nothing really jumped out. None of the lines were. I mean, I guess we could have used Carter. What are you looking at? Or whatever.
Sometimes we just know it. Like we're watching the episode. It's like, okay, that's going to be the line of the episode.
Yeah, sometimes it's really apparent.
But this time it was like we did the same thing, but we were like, okay, yeah, that seems like it fits for the episode.
Yeah. This, I mean, we're not always going for like the comedy.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a funny line.
Yeah.
But it's just something that really encapsulates the episode too.
Exactly. And so the line of the episode was, I think, one of the last lines.
Yeah, but
they say it a couple times.
They say it twice, but Jack says it at the end.
One of the Knox says it earlier.
And it's not the exact. I looked; it wasn't the exact wording, but it's pretty much.
Well, O'Neill's taking it from when he heard it from the Knox.
Yeah.
So anyway, he said it's from O'Neill, and he says, "The very young do not always do as they're told."
Right.
Such wise words.
Wise words. Something that we could apply in our own lives.
I'm just glad none of the creatures died. So
yeah, and obviously, like I think they were like saying it in a way where not like child, but it's kind of the same thing. The Asgards always sort of they consider like humanity like a young
because
civilization or young
the
race.
One Knox is 432 years old. So yeah. they see SG-1 looks young.
And they see us as like children.
Yeah, like they're still learning.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so that was good.
That was it.
Yeah, well,
let us know what you thought.
Yeah, let us know.
As always,
subscribe. Like we always say, we would love any feedback. Our email is starx@groovydane.com, and you can find us. We love rating too. We'd love to get a rating. Give us a good rating at least on any of your like Apple Podcasts or whatever. Helps. I guess it helps. Let people know about it.
Oh,
so ratings are always good, and obviously.
Yeah, and we're having a lot of fun with this. So if we could reach out to some people, that would be great, and find other people who love Stargate like us. So.
Yeah. Basically that's who we're doing this for. Like people who, and maybe new people who might want to watch Stargate. Or get into something cool.
Yeah, because like Mike
about.
said earlier, it is kind of an underrated show, and I know there's like a fan base out there, but you hear a lot about all the other sci-fi shows, but not a lot about Stargate.
Yeah, a lot of. And there's so much out there, but obviously like Star Trek has a lot of traction. It's awesome. Yeah. We love it too.
Yeah. We love them all. But
we love them all. Obviously Star Wars has a lot.
But we just the way we got started in it, and it's just kind of been a part of our lives for a while. So, we've just loved it for a long time. Yeah, and it's fun. Yeah. It's fun. It's not. They don't take it too seriously, which is nice. Mm-hmm. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah, we'd love to hear from anybody if you want to give us any kind of feedback. But and obviously join us for the next episode. That one is going to be called Brief Candle, episode 8, Brief Candle. Oh, Brief Candle. Yeah, this one I think is one of my favorites. The one coming up? Yeah, Brief Candle. Brief Candle. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember it now that you kind of told me about it. It's funny you remembered so much more about it. Well, that's actually not funny because I don't remember anything apparently. So anyway, well, we'll sign off.
Yeah.
And
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening,
Or
watching.
watching.
Yeah. And until next week, keep solving for X.
Thanks.